Hi everyone, I'm Mary with Mary Greeley News. Thank you for joining me. I can't get the live webcam to load up, and this is the chat room at geysertimes.org, and it doesn't want to load either. This is one of the geysers that's going off in the back, kind of to the left of the camera. A lot of people are over there, but there's been some significant earthquakes today, all basically that USGS is reporting above a magnitude 2. Those of you that have followed me will remember how I reported that the unzipping of the caldera during the last major eruption started up there in the Madison River area. And then it came down around to the Norris Geyser area. And then, prior to the collapse of the two calderas, there was an earthquake swarm down here by Heart Lake. This was one of the last areas that unzipped. Well, this is the location of the recent earthquakes. USGS, of course, has been downgrading them, and there's a lot of earthquakes that they're not reporting that I found on EMSC. Most of those are in yellow. And then another thing, besides being close to Heart Lake, that I noticed where this earthquake swarm is happening. Look what's up above it. Yeah, West Thumb. The caldera that erupted, between 162 to 150,000 years ago. Yeah, they call this a caldera. Maybe a mini one. And you'll remember I've been reporting all the earthquake swarms that have been registering at Grant, which is down over here. Yesterday, Steamboat Geyser went off. After almost a wait of 8 days, it was 7 days and 18 hours and 26 minutes. Many people probably went over to the live webcam when they heard about the earthquake swarm that's going on. Here at the chat room, it starts and stops. I just don't know where to begin. Anyways, they have 7 listed. So far today, we have a 2.9, a 2.5, a 2.8, 2.7, 2.5, another 2.9, and a 2.6. How many of you remember Hank Hessler? And he got in some trouble, I think, when he did a TV interview about magnitude 2 or greater earthquakes. When they started occurring, that those there at USGS would sit up and take notice and get a little worried, and not until they started having magnitude 2 earthquakes would they worry. Some of these earthquakes could have been as large as a magnitude 4, but they put them the largest as being a magnitude 2.9. Here's the earthquakes from Little West Thumb, and this is from the borehole at Yellowstone Lake. Remember, it's up by the fishing bridge. And I just picked out one of them. I thought I'd share on both monitors, and let me close this out so you can see all the earthquakes that are occurring there at Yellowstone. Yeah, I would say there's a lot more than 7, and they're marked in red, which means the computer knows there was an earthquake, and it's a signal sent to the geologist to step up and review it. This activity actually started around midnight, Universal Time. Let me click on this other one so you can see them. But they are not reporting this earthquake, or these earthquakes. There's 2 of them here. Let me pull this over. Let me see here. Okay. See, there's 2 there. And pull that over. That's when this new recent activity started up. And we'll come down. Let me close this one out so you can see that they are the same. We got one here at 2:36. Let's see, is that it? Yep, 2:36. This is marked in red at 3:39. 3:39. Got another one here at 3:12. 3:12. 4:20. 4:20. I mean, there's lots of them. Lots and lots. Let me look at this one. There we go. And let's take a look at the signature and see what we got. Screw waves. Yep, screw wave, harmonic tremors. Let's go over here. Look at some of the signatures. Okay. Oops. And this is what it's currently showing. This is Little West Thumb at the top, Madison River, and down here at the bottom, Yellowstone Lake. And I'll go back. Let me pull it over. That way you can see the names, and I'll go back another 4 hours. Yep, everything is A-OK. Yep, go back another 4 hours. And we'll pull this over. It's really getting active. Look at that. Yep, and you can match them up. Yeah, a lot more than 7 earthquakes. EMSC knows there's more than 7 earthquakes. Most of those are in yellow that I posted here on this website that USGS did not post. Now for the first one they have listed, or the most recent they have listed, the 2.9. Here it says 2.8, and then we got a 3.80. And we'll open that one up and see what we got. 3.25, 3.83, 3.03. Now notice this is all automatic by the computer. 3.82, 3.03, 3.56, 3.4, 3.23. So yeah, they downgraded it. And we'll look at the other one. This is all manual. This is what the scientists decided they were going to do. But look, we got a 3.24 here, a 3.31, a 3.3. What else? Let's come down to 3.3. Now that came from Bozeman, I guess. 3.24. That's the new monitor that I have pointed out there by Grant, I believe, DD. 3.33. Norris Junction. 3.24. Another one. Upper Falls. 3.31. And we'll come back down here. Automatic by the computer. Mount Sheridan, excuse me. West Thumb was a 2.85. Old Faithful, 3.83. Holmes Hill, 3.03. Moose Creek, Idaho, 3.14. Parker Peak, 3.82. So you get the idea. Yeah, it was downgraded. One they decided for a 2.8 could have been a 2.75. That would have been manual. Automatic by the computer, 2.99. We'll take a look at that one. 3.14, 3.13, 3.01, 3.37, 3.47. Yeah, they downgraded. All automatic by the computer. The other magnitude 2.9, I believe it was originally a 2.8 and they upgraded it. 3 people reported feeling this earthquake. One up there by the border at Mammoth Hot Springs, it looks like. And this other one came too from there, close to the location. Let's zoom in. Now remember, Heart Lake is a very remote location, and there's a lot more people over here by Grant. Manually, it figures it was probably a 2.85, but the computer came up with 3.46. And let's look at it. 3.15, 3.27, 3.2, 3.92. Almost a magnitude 4. 3.33. That's Mount Sheridan. 3.92 was Moose Creek, Idaho. Old Faithful. Old Faithful came in as a 4.28. Maybe that's why the live monitor isn't working, or is it the fact that there's too many people watching? This here is an image. It's from the static cam. where it takes pictures every 10 minutes. Alright, I got the camera to work. Yay! And I have no idea what time it's supposed to go off. Let's see. It goes off on average about every 90 minutes. So it's supposed to go off at 11:52 a.m. Their time. And it's currently only 11:46. A lot of people there. Yeah, they just don't know the danger of what could happen. Yeah, it keeps stopping and going, stopping and going. They did a scenario about organizing the different groups that are involved in the observation of Yellowstone back in 2011. It was a 8-day drill, which actually over real time would be 24 hours. And see, they know that magma could come up and have a major eruption anywhere in the world within 10 minutes. It could come up from a plume within 10 minutes and have a major eruption. But their scenario was over 24 hours that they worked it out for their drill for 8 days. It could be a false start there for Old Faithful. I reported yesterday how it erupted late. Lately, it's been on about every 90 minutes. It goes up, give or take about 10 minutes. They allow 10 minutes, give or take, for the time that they believe that Old Faithful will go up. Now, in the past, that time changed when there was major earthquakes, which changed the hydrothermal system there at Old Faithful. And then after several years, it went back to its regular interval of eruptions of about every 90 minutes. And it's been doing that for years. I'll give you a link to this paper. It was held November 15, 2011, this drill. And you know where this was supposed to have happened? In their drill, where the scenario was? By West Thumb Grant. The exercise simulated a rapid buildup of seismic activity, ground deformation, and hot spring water chemistry and temperature anomalies that accumulated in a small to moderate size pre-magmatic eruption within Yellowstone National Park. Their conclusions was they need to improve role clarification within and between YVO science teams. They need to improve communication tools and protocols for data sharing and consensus building among YVO scientists, who are geologically and administratively dispersed among various institutions across the United States. They need to improve their familiarize YVO staff with incident command systems, procedures, and protocols, and provide more in-depth training to appropriate staff members as needed. They need to train all science team members in the use of all analytical and computational tools available to them in order to maximize the effectiveness of teams in tracking and interpreting possible acceleration unrest at Yellowstone. Those are some major things they need to improve on. They also need to update a catalog of existing map and information products and identifying additional products that would be helpful during a crisis. Creating a to-do list of early crisis tasks for each scientific team. What, they don't already have this? They need to coordinate radio frequencies among partner agencies. And the exercise was called Volcano Crisis Response at Yellowstone Volcanic Complex. And there was 33 people that participated in this role playing. In virtual time, the exercise ran for 8 days. But in real time, the scenario was supposed to go from 8:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. with no breaks. Sorry, volcanoes erupting. You can't go take a half an hour lunch. The exercise scenario portrayed in the rapid buildup of unrest, seismicity, deformation, heat flux, release of volcanic gases, and small hydrothermal explosions. Small ones, you got that? Beneath or near West Thumb, a bay of Yellowstone Lake, and not far from an actual limited seismic buildup occurred in 2008 and 2009. This area is near a popular visitor attraction, West Thumb Geyser Basin, and a visitor center, Grant Village. Examples of a number of destinations within Yellowstone National Park where people are frequently in close proximity to hydrothermal features. The scenario included 2 moderately large earthquakes. Got that? Moderately large, not super big. A significant hydrothermal explosion in the Geyser Basin, and a pre-magnetic, partially steam-driven explosive eruption from a vent beneath the lake. The explosion triggered a pyroclastic surge, a blast of hot gas and volcanic ash, and a small tsunami. And on their map, they have the area for that hydrothermal explosion. Looks like it's along the crack that's at the bottom of Yellowstone Lake that I've talked about. Now, to the right of that is a trough, which is about 350 feet deep. Okay, and here's some of their recommendations. That's at the middle of this article or this document. Urgent. Number 1, urgent. Number 2, urgent. Assign and clarify the roles for all YVO scientists during non-crisis periods or early in a crisis. I guess people there don't know exactly what their job is during a crisis. They'll be running around like chickens with their heads chopped off. Number 2, identify YVO personnel who will have additional responsibilities within the ICS management structure. And they need to know what those responsibilities are. Develop a list of the changes in any roles or responsibility of YVO team leaders. The SIC and the deputy scientists in charge, DSIC, for when volcanic activity escalates to the point where an IC is established. And for YVO personnel who would perhaps assume new roles under the IC. Let's say someone's out of town, or maybe he got blown up in the hydrothermal gas and ash that came rolling out of the vent. They got to have a second person in charge, right, to take over. They need to provide sufficient training to ensure that they understand what their roles would be. Now, this was in 2011. Have they done this? I really doubt it. Who's in charge if something happens to Mike Poland, or say he's off barbecuing somewhere? Maybe it's a 3-day holiday weekend. Who's going to be the commander-in-chief until the head honcho returns to town? Now, I do have a suggestion for those of you. Realize it takes me a while to put together my earthquakes, my reports, my different videos, and sometimes it takes me many hours to do that. So my suggestion, if you want breaking news, follow me on Twitter. When I find things, I always post it on Twitter before I even get a chance to put together a video. So if you're waiting for me to say, breaking news, Yellowstone's erupting, the first place I would probably put it, besides maybe a 2-minute little blip, would be on Twitter. I go by Lucky Finds, and yeah, follow me there. I am also on Patreon, if you would like to support my work, and all my videos I post there on Patreon. If you're already a subscriber to Patreon, you can view my videos there for free. And I also have PayPal. You know, everything is not A-OK. I don't care what they say. And those of you that have been following me, No, it's not A-OK there. They are hoping that if there's another eruption, it's going to be a small eruption. That's what they're hoping for. But people, even then, will be injured for how crowded the park is if it happens during the summer, when the park's still open. People would be hurt, people would be killed, maimed, burned, overcome by toxic gases, and those at YVO need to make a to-do list. So that's all I have for you right now. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. If you have any questions or comments, please put it down below. Yeah, look how dark that is. I have seen the steam before in the past coming up black as coal. Yeah, black as coal. And it's a little dirty right now. I've reported how these pools are drying up. The trees are dying. All signs of increased activity. Yesterday, Old Faithful decided to erupt almost a half an hour late. I don't think I've ever seen it do that, other than when they've had some major earthquakes in the past that disrupted the system there at Old Faithful. Anyways, that's all I have for you right now. Thank you for watching again. Please stay safe, and God bless you all.